I never imagined myself ever having to make a video like this.
Today's a heavy day for all of us.
Today marks 3 years.
3 years.
3 years without Molly.
Since Molly passed away.
Since Molly's passing.
Exactly 3 years ago today, it was going to be the last time I saw Molly. I can't even believe it's been 3 years.
And let me tell you, it's been a boring 3 years.
Molly was so loved.
When I think about my favorite memory of Molly, it's impossible to pick just one.
There's so many memories of Molly, I don't think I can say I have a single favorite memory.
My favorite memory with Molly is, I don't even think I could come up with them just because there's so many.
I have many memories with Molly.
Whenever she would find like kittens, but she would stick them in like the pockets of her sweaters or in her purse, just nonchalantly pull them out after we asked her what's meowing.
She snuck a kitten into the photo booth and
She's like, hey, come here, look at what I have. And I look over down at this box and she's carrying these kittens. And there wasn't one or two, I think there was three. And all meowing in this box. And I'm like, Molly, where did you get these cats? And she's like, they're mine, they're my babies, I adopted them.
When I came and picked her up, she had her purse with her and she was like carrying it from the bottom. And when she got in my car, she pulled Lucy out of her purse. She let her like run free around my car.
My favorite memory with Molly would have to be when I was in high school and I was on the homecoming court. I was just stepping off the football field and the game was starting up again, and I was in my big ball gown dress and I had my high heels on, and I could see Molly from a distance, and she kind of had a wild look in her eye. She practically knocked me over because she gave me the biggest bear hug ever, but in that moment represented so much of the selfless person that Molly was, and it also represented the type of relationship that we had. And Molly was always there to support me no matter what.
One of my favorite memories about her was, I don't really even remember what it was, but I just remember her telling me to do something and me being like, no way, and her being like, you're gonna do it.
We were driving somewhere, but there wasn't enough room in the car for everyone to sit. Molly volunteered to ride in the trunk. We're driving down the road, we get like 100 yards, and we hear her scream. So I stop the car, I'm like, Molly, are you okay? And all I hear is her yell, I just beat my high score on Temple Run.
I'll never forget when we went to prom together.
My favorite memory of Molly and I is from when we were younger and we would help Bruce and Gail bring the cattle in.
She was in my metal fabrication class in high school. She was really bad at it. She was not made to be a welder. One day she was chipping at some metal and some of the hot metal came off, and she did not button up her coveralls like she was supposed to, and it fell into her shirt. She was stripping, running to the sink, trying to put cold water down her shirt.
And her bumper was already messed up prior going to the car wash. And so when we went in and we came out, the lady told us, hey, your bumper's hanging off in the back. And she said, oh, no, it's fine. It's been like that. We started driving and I look in the mirror and I just see her whole bumper flapping. And I was like, oh my God, Molly, pull over. So the only thing she had in her car was Christmas wrapping tape. So we used the whole thing and we just taped it back together.
Summer going into my senior year is when I had my senior pictures done, and I was so nervous. I brought Molly hoping, she would help me feel more comfortable, and she absolutely did. I have literally never had anyone hype me up so much and make me feel like a superstar, and that was just what Molly did for everyone always.
Brett and her came over to my house, and it was like in the middle of their school day. Molly asked me if I could call the school, and I was like, why? And she's like, because I want to leave school early. And I was like, oh man, what are you guys getting me into? Being the older person, I should have known better. And so I put on my best mom voice and I called.
One of my many favorite memories with Molly would have to be when she worked at the asparagus stand. Well, one of the times I stopped by and Molly decided to hook me up with a bunch of asparagus. Basically gave me like 6 bundles for the price of one, but she knew she was gifting herself because she was going to come over to Brittany's later anyways and eat with us. That summer, we basically ate asparagus every day. All the time. That was our favorite thing.
She wanted to take us to go see a really scenic place in Prosser, and we got down next to the river. When we went to leave, we all got in the car, and it got kind of dark, and I swore we were gonna go over the edge. I literally had to step out of the car. I was like, Molly, we're gonna die. This is not okay.
We went to Cheney, and we took her to like a college Halloween party, and lost her. She, of course, made friends and was fine. In the morning, like, she had slept in a bed. We had all slept on the floor.
My favorite one I can share would be how she stood her ground. It's not a specific one. If you ever said anything that kind of rubbed her the wrong way, you would know, like, immediately. You would immediately know. And she wouldn't hold back either. She'd have you trembling in your seat. But it was fun for me, because I'd get to watch her tear you a new one.
What I miss most about her is definitely having her at the Grandview Fair, showing her red steers. I know that was one place where she was noticed.
I miss not having a judgmental ear to vent to.
My favorite part about Molly is how caring she was. She always made time for me. She was always there for me. It's hard to come across people like that.
She was unique. That doesn't happen all the time. You don't meet people that are just so kind and free-spirited.
She was somebody you could really trust about anything, just anything.
Just how honestly kind she was. And her kindness was just so pure. She really cared about others. Didn't matter who you were. If you really needed somebody, she was there.
She was a really good friend to everyone.
She was just such a bright spirit, fun person, lovable.
She had such a free soul and was so random.
Molly just always did stuff, just stuff that make you laugh.
That girl, she can make you laugh till the end of time. She was the funniest person I ever knew.
I just miss her sense of humor. She seriously was one of the funniest people I've ever met. And she didn't even mean to be.
How she could just light up a room and everybody seemed to love her.
She just always had a smile on her face, was always laughing.
One of the things I miss most about Molly, definitely her smile.
Her laughter.
Her laugh.
I miss her laugh a lot. It was so contagious. It would just light up a room and everyone around her would want to smile or laugh with her.
That's always something she was the best at, is making everybody laugh.
What I miss the most about Molly would probably have to be her wicked sense of humor. Molly was the most wittiest, most hilarious person that I've ever met. She brought a lot of joy and laughter to my life.
She was just such a positive person, and
she could make anyone laugh. She would make strangers her new best friends. She got along with anyone.
Her smile was so affectionate. She made everybody in the room, no matter what kind of attitude, they were happy, sad. She knew how to change their day and make it the best day.
So she could turn your worst moment into one of your best.
She was one of the coolest people I've ever met. She would just do the craziest things and say the craziest things. She just did not give a shit about what people thought about her or what she said or did.
That's what I miss most about Molly, her energy.
I miss her presence.
She was hilarious and fun and going all the time. She'd just say the wackiest things, and she was super goofy and have you laughing in tears.
Nothing embarrassed her. She was always the life of the party, always doing something crazy because she wanted to make people laugh, and she never failed to do so.
And she could walk into a room and just bring it to life. The moment she galloped into a room, and I literally mean gallop, she would just brighten everyone's day. And if the galloping didn't do it, then the first thing that would come out of her mouth would definitely get the job done.
Everyone wanted to be around her because if you were with her, you knew you were going to have fun.
She was so spontaneous and she had no fear.
How fearless she was.
I miss Molly's charisma. I miss her presence. We have to take something from this experience.
Well, as I sit here in remembrance of one of my best friends, every day I find myself tiptoeing, almost always watching my actions, because you don't know.
So any advice for someone who's battling depression? Honestly, It hits everyone a little bit differently. I wish I could give you a step-by-step plan on how to get better, but it just doesn't work like that. It probably hurt it all.
Don't be afraid to speak up.
You can call Suicide Prevention Hotline.
Reach out to your friends, your family.
Talk to somebody.
Reach out.
Which are all great options, and I highly encourage you to do all of those, but it's a hard subject to talk about.
We just need to be more open about talking to others and bringing this issue up and seeking to get help.
For people that are struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts, it's so important to keep living for the people that love you. Your parents, your best friends, they love you and they want you on this earth.
There's so many people that care about you.
We all have friends for a reason.
People do care about you. People do want to help you.
You may not love yourself. That doesn't mean that nobody loves you. There are people that care for you, whether it's a teacher, it's a friend, it's family.
People love you, whether you think so or not.
We have people that love us, and that's a support system.
The number one thing that I have to say is you matter.
Don't ever think that you're not enough or you don't matter.
You matter.
Sometimes you feel like you're not loved and so no one's gonna miss you anyway, but that's not true.
Your life is worth living.
If you stay with it and keep moving forward, I guarantee that you and all your loved ones will be grateful that you're still here.
When you get angry and make a decision, you can't undo what that decision was, no matter what the consequences are.
Taking your own life isn't the right answer.
That's not the right thing to do. It's not the answer.
It's your friends and your family that all feel the pain of that for the rest of their lives.
Sometimes we get sad and lonely or fearful.
I think a lot of times we forget that it's okay to not be okay. It is okay to experience hurt, to experience sadness.
It's okay to be scared, and it's okay to not know what's going on.
You are not the only one.
We should always allow sadness to come into our life, but we also need to let it go.
Life can be really shitty sometimes, but life can also bring a lot of blessings.
Life can be beautiful.
I've learned that nothing stays the same forever.
Remember, it gets better.
As long as you keep telling yourself that tomorrow's going to be a better day, and you keep staying positive, and you look forward to your future and realize that there's so much more to come.
Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Exercise. Call your mom. Do things you love to do. Take a break from school or from work for a little bit, but do anything that will uplift you the slightest.
Find that person that you trust and tell them you're having those thoughts, and so that they can keep you accountable.
There's always somebody out there that's willing to listen.
The one thing you shouldn't do is bottle that up and keep it to yourself.
I know reaching out can be hard. As strong as we might think we are, or that we have to carry everything on our own, we don't. If you reach out, it could be the change, just talking about it, or just hearing some advice from someone who's been through something that maybe you've been through.
There was a verse that I found after I lost Molly during my dark days, and it is Psalm 5:7, and it says, "You have filled my heart with greater joy." That greater joy is appreciating life for what it has been while also having faith in what life will be, because God does have a greater plan for you.
There will be better days ahead.
We break and we bruise very, very easily.
Your darkest days bring your brightest tomorrows.
That moment will pass, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
And you will see those brighter days if you can just make it through those dark days.
And I know how cliche that sounds to hear all those things, but it's really true. These dark moments don't last forever. And when you get to the other side, you realize how grateful you were and are for the people who stuck by you in your worst moment.
The best days of your life are still yet to come.
Things can always get better, and they do, no matter how bad it is.
So stay strong.
Just don't give up.
Don't give up.
Keep going.
You just got to keep pushing forward and hold on.
It'll get easier.
Stay strong.
Never give in.
You'll be okay.
And you can and you will get through this because you're a warrior.
Suicide hotline number is 1-800-273-8255.